In this video, you'll learn the process of tissue healing after a wound. We'll focus on the process of healing a wound in the skin, but healing is similar for other tissues as well. There are 4 overlapping phases of wound healing. The hemostasis phase involves blood clotting to stop blood loss from damaged vessels. The blood clot will form a protective scab covering the surface of a wound on the skin. Inflammation involves activation of the immune system, bringing leukocytes into the wound to defend against infection and remove damaged tissue. 4 cardinal signs of inflammation are redness, swelling, heat, and pain. The proliferation phase involves cell division to allow the growth of new tissues. Fibroblast cells initially produce a random arrangement of collagen fibers, filling the wound with a new layer of connective tissue. The blood clot on the surface contracts, pulling the edges of the wound together, and blood vessels grow through the new connective tissue framework, producing granulation tissue. During the tissue remodeling phase, collagen fibers are reorganized to increase the strength of the newly formed connective tissue, and epithelial tissues grow in from around the edges of the wound, covering over the surface of the connective tissue. Regeneration is when the addition of new cells of the same type replaces the injured cell to completely restore the original structure where the wound occurred. Some tissues have a high capacity for regeneration. For example, most epithelial tissues can regenerate. Many connective tissues are capable of regeneration. For example, your bones can regenerate well and heal after a fracture, whereas other connective tissues regenerate poorly. For example, the cartilage that covers the ends of the bones at the joints regenerates poorly. It takes a very long time for wounds to heal, and they may not completely heal. Nervous tissue in the central nervous system, such as the brain or spinal cord, is not capable of regeneration, whereas nervous tissue in the peripheral nervous system, outside of the brain and spinal cord, is capable of regeneration. When a tissue does not completely regenerate, the process of scar formation leaves dense connective tissue in place where the wound occurred. This process of scarring is also known as fibrosis. While the epithelial tissue of the skin has a high capacity for regeneration, if the wound is too large, fibrosis may occur. And some individuals have an increased genetic susceptibility for fibrosis. Cardiac muscle found within the heart is another example of a tissue that is not very good at regeneration and tends to instead have fibrosis replacing damaged cardiac muscle. Here we see histology images taken with a light microscope, on the left showing healthy cardiac muscle, and on the right we see fibrosis in the blue color. Collagen fibers have been stained with a special stain that gives it this blue color. You can see lots of collagen fibers are filling in where cardiac muscle has been damaged. Tissue healing process starts with hemostasis or blood clotting and inflammation to help contain the wound and prevent infection and blood loss. Then proliferation produces the granulation tissue, with new connective tissue being laid down by fibroblasts and new blood vessels growing in what's known as angiogenesis. The growth of new blood vessels gives the granulation tissue a reddish color. Then we have tissue remodeling to restore the original structure. If we can restore the original structure fully, we've regenerated the tissue.